Hello, this is the last video in our four-part series where we're going to talk about the final tips and tricks for your value stream map. If you're just joining us, you can take a look at some of those other lessons where we talk about what a value stream map is, the basics of value stream mapping, and an example with Stardew Valley. Now, here we're going to talk about those final tips and tricks so that you can start running with process improvement tools like value stream mapping. So, the first thing that I want to highlight here is conversation over perfection. Now, we have this attitude quite often in process improvement that we need to adhere to tradition. We must follow the way Toyota has designed, or we are doing something wrong. Now, that's just simply not true. The value of most of these tools isn't in putting the map up on the wall. It's in the conversation that you're having with the people in the room. The map helps them trip over the truth to identify these things that they need to change. So always value that conversation over having the perfect map up on the wall. Now, it's up to you as the facilitator to make sure that we're focusing on the right things. If we're using this value stream map to identify a bottleneck, you need to make sure that we have that realization. But it doesn't mean that each item on the value stream map needs to be perfect. It means that you need to make sure that you use the tool as intended to achieve the intended purpose, identifying the bottleneck. And it means that you need the team that's engaged in this activity to realize that that's the value that they're getting out of this. You need that conversation, that tripping over the truth. When you take on these new tools that are complex and challenging, it is always okay to do research, to look things up. You're not meant to be an expert in every tool, it isn't possible. So give yourself some leverage or some understanding in that you should go look up these tools, go get different information, go figure out what works best for you. Now, this book for me, Learning to See, it's kind of like the Bible of value stream mapping and where things started. So it's okay to go to books like this or to resources like these videos online to be able to get more insight into how value stream mapping works and how you can use it. And really, that's because there's a lot of different versions out there. You need to figure out what's going to work for you and your team. One tendency that we have when we take on an activity like this, we are going to be observing this process probably for weeks ahead of time as we plan this activity. There is going to be a tendency or an interest in making changes immediately. But remember, you were there initially just to observe. So go out and be an observer. Don't try to make changes, don't try to fix things ahead of time. You're only going to kind of convolute the process if you try to do too many improvements before you actually have this activity. It's not about you as the facilitator, it's about that team that's working in this process. So try to be that impartial observer at the beginning and just collect that data. Don't try to change too much ahead of time. Another thing that you can do is a monthly challenge. So once a month, go out, print yourself out a value stream mapping template, and just simply put together a value stream map. Now, gives you a chance to kind of practice these tools so that when people ask you, you know what the triangle means, you know what cycle time is, and it makes it easier for you to lead these activities in the long term. This is generally not an activity that people take on as a beginner. This is a more advanced activity. So, considering that, set yourself up for success by really learning value stream mapping so that when you get up in front of your team in an event, you can have the confidence to speak to each piece of that value stream map. Now, finally, before we go, I just want to highlight a big difference between agile value stream mapping and traditional value stream mapping. Now, it's not to say that there's not value in value stream mapping in an agile sense, but you may see out there a different approach to this that looks a little bit more like a process flow diagram. And so this seems to be something that's taken on within agile in that value stream mapping really talks about process flow diagrams or process mapping at a different level than what we think traditionally as a value stream map. So if you are in an agile team and you expect maybe your process map is going to look something like this, you may be disappointed. And that's okay that they have a different dialect or accent that they're using. That's how I think of it, like languages, right? So the way that they put this together is slightly different than how I would, or how a lean, guru might put it together. And that's okay, as long as they're meeting the intent that they have in using the value stream map. And it's a heads up to you if you're in that space and you see this bleed over into the work that you're doing. It's not wrong, it's just different. So decide what's going to add value for you and your team. And you may be able to blend the two, or you may decide, hey, let's do something different and try something more traditional. Now, thank you so much for joining me on this whole adventure of value stream mapping with our Stardew Valley example. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at Beautiful Opportunities Consulting. We are always here to help you build those thriving process improvement programs and to find a mentor that can really unlock these tools for you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Happy improving.